Back to another exciting night of Wednesday night, Season 5 Cup Giggity style at Darlington playoff race. Again, thank you to our sponsor, JCR, tonight. They are presenting the JCR Giggity Preset Cup at Darlington. Don't forget to stay tuned. We have a very, very special custom race coming up, which we will talk about during the preset race, too. This week, guys, you will be able to hear him. KTatty in the booth, and one of the guys that you hear on a regular basis on Friday nights does such a great job helping us out tonight for the preset race. Justin Shackett, how are you tonight, buddy?
Hi, I'm great.
You guys can accept our invites.
We're going to blue screen just for 1 second here, guys, so we can accept these invites and get right to the racing. And again, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Tatty, you will be able to hear him. Justin helping me out up here in the booth, making his return this week. Not in the automatic Mustang for KMS. Big Jim, great to have him back. But we are seeing a very, very unfamiliar name not in there. We just talked about sitting fifth in points just outside the top cut line. Big Dane, who's had a very, very good last couple weeks, got himself a W too. And at this time, very unfortunate that he is not here tonight as we're jumping in.
Yeah, you definitely hate to see that. The second half of the season, he came on really strong and definitely proved to be one of the championship contenders. Unfortunately, with him not being here tonight, that's probably going to knock him out. He was only 4 points out of that top 4 position. So next in line is going to be UK Wildcats and Pro 75 sitting 5 points out. But they still have 2 weeks to make up those points. So anybody can still make their way in.
There was a crash in the back.
Trying to get logged in here.
It looks like the whole second half of the field, 4 cars involved in that incident. As I'm seeing the 18 of Adam Troutman, the 32, the 16, and the 8 of Pro 75, all involved in that first lap incident here at Darlington Speedway.
Yeah, I want to make sure too, guys. Okay, yep, good. There it is. Because it didn't pull up on the computer, I just had to double check on my phone, make sure I didn't make that bonehead mistake that I have done in the past. These guys are under caution here, and to make sure that we got everything switched over from the YouTube channels. But he likes to be called Daddy in that 11 car, Country Caliber up front right now after their first yellow flag. These guys haven't seen too many cautions this year so far. Duck Humor, the Quackmaster himself, in that 4 car right there. UK Wildcats, again, great to see him back.
Yeah, guys, you can definitely see that this track does not have a lot of room. It's really, really hard on these restarts to be running side by side through turns 1 and 2 without getting into each other, because you have to stay above that dotted line. Once you start getting up to speed, if you're below that for too long, your car will spin, and as we've seen there in the first lap there, if you're below there and you spin and you're in front of the rest of the field, it's going to cause a lot of cars to be involved. So definitely look to keep an eye out on that throughout the night. As the cars spread out, you can get away with a little bit less of a big accident. However, it's going to cost you, because caution may not come out with just 1 car incident.
And PVT Patton up here in the second, that 21 car. Normally he's running one of the yellow paint schemes, Extreme Dirt Racing. That's RD, another Ohio guys. We see him guys 2x2 back here in the corner. Very difficult situation. Don't want to hit that apron. And then we got a Creed sighting out there. We just talked to him not too long ago too. But again, I just talked about this in the pre-race with Justin. Justin, you want to tell him the fun fact about Darlington?
Yeah, so the fun fact is, which I already knew this, was when Darlington was originally built, the incline was made to keep you off from the wall, and the flat part of the track was supposed to be meant for racing.
Exactly correct. So now they have utilized that outside for many, 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 many years now. A very tough track to pass that, and these preset guys too. Get your setups in right, because at the same time we see Jake Giroux out there in the 24 making a move on the outside of that 21 right behind the 11. And he scrapes the wall. It's so difficult to get around somebody.
Yeah, let's keep in mind, actually, so that bottom section below that dotted white line that I spoke about that'll get your car loose and wanting to spin out, it's not illegal to go down below that line and make passes. So even though you are seeing these guys up at the top of the track, they are more than welcome to use this whole track all the way down to that front stretch wall. They can use any bit of this course to make the passes here. So, you know, on the straightaways, you're going to see some people spread out and get a little bit lower, but realistically, you'll never see anybody intentionally go below there. But I mean, you could later on if you're seeing a 3 wide green white checkered.
Yeah, but going below that. Go ahead, Justin.
Is when you're getting a run on a guy, you can kind of get your left side tires to hook that apron, and it'll actually get your car to help rotate and get you underneath the car, especially in 3 and 4. If you hook it just right, it'll help you get a run going down the front straight to pass the guy.
Yeah, too far below that, too. Like you guys just said, too, they would upset the chassis of the car and look for the spin. Back here in the 5th spot, Flirt with Disaster, Pocono Steve himself. Now he calls himself the Captain Insano. He has been dealing with COVID like he's been, we could all know, and it's great to see him starting to feel better. Talked to him the other night, too. He's starting to be, you know, coming back to life again, so great to see him recovering from that. But tricky situation. A-Trout back here again, running that pink car that we normally see him in for the 18 Toyota, looking pretty good. And Crab Legs kind of likes this track, and then there's some people who kind of don't like this track. This, for me, is not on my bucket list of Giggity tracks, as we see Crab Leg hit the wall right there and get loose. And, well, you just see that...
Flirt with Disaster actually goes to the outside and makes a move on Duck Humor. That is for position number 4. Sorry to cut you off. Back over to you, Flirt.
Yeah, I was jumping back here on board with Big Jim, too, making his return. Took some time off for the holidays. Missed last week because he was in automatic mode and said, I'm not going to drive it like that. So great to see Big Jim back out there again. Couple-time winner out here. Even with those wins, not in contention for the points. Top 3 packs starting to break away. Country Caliber, Private Pat, and Jake. And while I'm on air real quick, I do want to issue a public apology to Jake out there. He's a very good guy. I enjoy talking to him a lot. He's a very good racer, too. Made some inside jokes, and he thought it was directed at him, and that was definitely not the case. So, Jake, buddy, I do apologize. I know I've talked to you in chats and stuff off air, but I just want to let it known that no harm, no foul from my aspect, man, and I appreciate your understanding if there is any. And again, I'm very sorry about that, buddy. But yeah, let's back to this racing up here for the lead.
Yeah, so the biggest thing right now with Jake scraping the wall and kind of falling back off these two is don't overdrive the car and don't fall victim to the pack behind you. Just run your line, don't overpush it, just continue going because you don't want to get sucked up in that pack behind you that's trying to pass each other right now.
Yeah, something else really important about that, actually. So Jake is the points leader entering tonight's race. He had the 5-point advantage after the regular season as he was your regular season champion. Now, keep in mind the way that the playoffs work here in the Giggity Racing League is you have a 3-race mini shootout, realistically, as you have Watkins Glen, you have here tonight at Darlington, and then you have next week at Indianapolis. You don't have to win any of these races to lock yourself in. And in fact, if you do win, it does not lock you into the Final 4 race at Homestead. You simply have to point your way in. He's sitting in 3rd place right now. He's in a comfortable position, already the points leader. Same as Justin was saying, you don't want to fall back and lose a lot of positions. Top 3 give you a stage point. So he's definitely doing what he needs to do to try to advance into Homestead. Pushing the issue are going to be drivers like your UK Wildcats back here in the 88, as we mentioned. He enters tonight 6th in points, so he's going to have to make up those 5 points any way, shape, or form, or else he's going to miss out on the playoffs. But he's doing the right thing now as he's just got by Duck Humor, one of your top 4 drivers now.
We just saw the number 4 Quack Humor hit the wall back there, and that's going to check him up quite a bit. That's going to let the 88 go to bed. Mr. UK Wildcats get around him. There's a battle back there, too, with Big Jim in that 32 car. Crab Legs right behind them, and then Flirt like right there too. But yeah, checking up, you hit the wall. We all know it. The lady in black, the Darlington stripe. If you don't leave with it on your car, you didn't do it exactly correct. But clipping that wall with the car directly behind you like that costs you a couple tenths. The person behind you, if they don't clip it, they've got to make one of those evasive maneuvers to get to the inside, not to get into the back of you and upset your car and spin you out. Paul Bear out there says, "What's up, guys?" He says, "Go Jake for Canada." Den Kate, you know, another guy. But for those people out there, you know, blame Canada. That seems like a good motto for the last couple weeks, huh, Den Kate? Blame Canada. That sounds pretty good.
So the biggest thing that I want to point out that just happened was with Country. He felt the pressure from the 21, felt like the 21 was making him use up his car, and pulled to the bottom and let him go. Now he is in the reverse role and can put the pressure on the 21 and have him use up his stuff. So that was a very smart move, is if you felt like he was putting the pressure on you, move aside, let him go.
Yeah, actually, and push him into make a mistake now yourself. Go ahead, Tatty.
Well, and to go with that, right, so you're at Darlington. There's not many grooves here. If somebody's all over your rear end, it makes it really, really hard. Even if it's an accidental, you lift a little too soon or they get in a little bit late. If there's a little bit of contact, it could put the car in front into the wall very easy, possibly take out the top three here. And or, you know, you lose so much time like we'd seen earlier with Jake. It's taken him this whole time to try to get back up to these top two, and he's just now getting there. You really, if there's a car that you believe to be faster and or, like you said, Justin, using up your equipment, you really need to let them go. And the way to do that here is by pulling to the inside and let them go on the outside. As we're seeing, that's where the racing groove is at the top.
Yeah, one thing that I'm watching right now is I'm on board with UK Wildcats, and I'm watching him and the drivers behind him. They are not pressuring each other, they're giving each other room, and they're using the draft going down the front straightaway. So possibly in 5 or 10 laps, as I say that, now the 32 looks to the inside of him. But if you can get a group of cars to work with you, they could easily draft down the straightaways back up to the top three.
Good battle between Big Jim and UK. Sorry, Justin. Good battle back here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so right here, you know, just get organized. Don't push the issue. Get back up to the top three. Put some pressure on them, knowing that they're your competition for those playoff spots.
And 184 laps is what Tatty said too. So that's you know, it could be a long 184 agonizing laps for some of these guys on a preset. You're a preset driver, Justin. Do you set something up? You know, you got to be able to make sure your car rotates through the corners here. You don't want to spend too much time up the gas, but you don't want to get loose off the entry like we see some of these guys doing too. So what slider would you recommend for these Cup guys, and what adjustments do you think you would make? Again, as Big Jim's making a move to the inside of Quack over here too.
So the biggest thing for me is, in my experience from driving Cup cars here at Darlington, I like to use a preset 5. I like to start the race with something tight, but something that can also rotate. Going into the pits, the only thing I ever change here on a preset is wedge. If you mess with the tires too much, you cause yourself to either be way too tight or you tear up that right rear tire way too fast in the run.
Yeah, but with wedge, like you said too, that can have ultimately, yeah, 88 hits the wall. 88 of UK hits the wall. Adjusting that wedge, though, sometimes that actually makes an adjust. That can get your tires to eat up some more too. But again, driver's preference. Some people on controller, some people on a wheel. I ultimately like to try to make all the adjustments I can with tire pressure first on a preset, and then at the last second, if need be, go with the wedge. But again, different strategies, different strokes for different folks out there to get their car to work.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, something that we need to speak about. Big Jim qualified with these drivers, and then he backed out after qualifying, I believe. Knowing that he wasn't in the playoffs, he wanted to be a little bit more respectful, start in the rear, give these guys the opportunity to battle it out. However, with that said, he started dead last. He's sitting fourth now after making it past this second group of cars. And once he did clear Duck Humor and UK Wildcats, he's just pulled away. He's got about a 6-car length now, maybe 7, and he's reeling in that top 3. So that 32 KMS Ford Mustang with Big Jim, look for him to be there at the end of this race here tonight, guys.
As always, again, we talked about it too, a late edition of Giggity Racing. We saw him a lot out there in YouTube land. Well, he said, I'm going to come over there and do some development driving. Ended up getting picked up, and in true spirits, always has some orange on his car, which is a recommendation for KMS, otherwise you get fired throughout the week. I think half of KMS spends a lot of the time at the unemployment line until the next race, though. Top 3 have checked out, though. We got Private Patton still leading in the 21. He likes to be called Daddy. And that 11, Country Caliber, and Jake out there just stalking his prey in third spots. Have a good night, then, Kate. He's getting ready to go to bed up there in Canada. He works early in the morning. We do appreciate his help up in the booth. Always having fun out there and hanging out and stuff. But you got to provide, man. You got to work. You got to put food on the table. So have a good night. Go count them sheep, buddy.
Two drivers that I'm looking at right now, I kind of went to the back of the pack to see who was kind of tailing everybody. We have Pro 75 and Tackleberry back here. One thing I'm noticing is I believe they did not get either the correct preset or they have some sort of adjustment because they look very, very tight right now. Like the car's not rotating the corner like they want to. Because it doesn't look like they can carry the speed in turn 1 and 2 like some of the other drivers can. So I'd be curious to see what happens after the first. Oh, and as I say that, Tackleberry slams the inside wall.
Yeah, I'm on board right now with Pro 75. Again, right there in the points cups. As a guy who is a hunter and loves camo, and actually my left arm tattoo sleeve, the filler is Realtree camo. I absolutely love that paint scheme. But yeah, like you said, maybe they went a little bit too, too tight right off the rip right there. Maybe these guys are really hoping for another caution. Only one so far, real quick off of there. But turns 3 and 4, a lot more paperclip shift than 1 2. So you got to be careful about that. I think that's your the key points is 3 and 4. Sanity Outlaw, what's up, man? He's out there doing great in the custom trucks right now. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, so Tackleberry's on pit road right now. He just went a lap down. He's going to end up falling 2 down. And Darlington is a hard track. When you're 2 down, it's hard to get sometimes those 2 laps back, depending on how many people end up going a lap down.
Yep. Hey, Sofa Racing League out there. They said, hello, Puddin'. Well, what's back at you? Hello, right at you. Thanks for tuning in, Sofa. Always great to see new names out there tuning in, joining in, having fun. Today it is Grim Sanity's birthday. I think he turned 14 for the 17th time. So happy birthday to our one and only Sanity Outlaw, excuse me. I still call him Grim, just like I still call Keystone Cavalry Boomhauer Boom. But yeah, happy birthday to him up there in Maryland.
So, Tatty, I want to touch on something that you said. You said that Big Jim, as soon as he cleared those guys, he pulled away. I know it's early, but I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with because he is like a second behind getting Jake for 3rd place. He is
second now.
Yeah, Jake's up in the second. I just saw that.
So
and
Big Jim is on fire right now, and he is closing fast on these top 3.
Private Pat at 21 has broken away from the 2nd place, but like you just said, Justin, Big Jim's announcing his presence with a little bit of authority here, and like you said, being respect what Tatty said right there, pulling back out of the lobby and then getting back in there. So
I think there's two things we need to discuss on that fact. The 32 car is on rails, right? He's sitting in 3rd now. His country
duck to pit lane.
As we're seeing pit lane starting to become a popular place, but
yep.
The 32 car has 2 things working for it, right? So 2 different aspects. You have the 21, the 24, and the 11. These guys are racing really hard. You see a little bit of damage on the 24, probably from scraping the wall. Those 3 were working together trying to pull away. Now the draft is going to make your car go faster, and like you spoke about as Jake's on pit road now, these guys are on their original preset. Nobody's made any adjustments yet, right? So when you're going on the track, say you're on a slider 5 and you're a little bit tighter, you're going to wear that right front through these high bank corners here. A lot of speed, a lot of corner, and the draft is actually going to make that worse. With that said, when you have a group of 5, 6 to 7 cars like what Big Jim was in, and those guys are going a little bit slower because they're battling. Big Jim kind of was just a little bit more patient, kind of hung back, let them do their side-by-side. He's actually able to save his equipment and not use it up as bad. So you're able to see that at the end of these runs as he has all of his equipment running at basically 100% while everyone else is down to 50.
Yep.
Big Jim on pit lane, Trout to pit lane.
So I'm curious to see, now that Patton is seeing all these drivers start signaling coming down pit road, how long is he going to stay out? Because this is the type of track, if you're on old tires against new tires, it's not, you don't want to stay out there for 10, 15 laps because these guys on new tires will close down on you. But on the same thing, if you can keep the gap and you come off pit road with them, you're going to have fresher tires against their older tires. So it's like a catch-24.
I've never heard catch-24. I've heard catch-22. Anyways,
Whatever.
right, so...
He said whatever.
Darlington's actually a notorious track for people having issues getting on and off pit road. This is a really tricky one because, like you guys had spoke about, the track was designed to be raced on the bottom, not in this top group. And so the entrance to pit road, you have to cross that whole bottom. And the way that most people try to pit during regular races is you come off forward, try to lock the brakes, and get down. Well, here you can't do that because the entrance to pit road is actually still in the corner. So you really need to come down onto the apron. And like we spoke about, when you're below that dotted white line, it makes your car really, really loose. And that still happens when a lot of people miss pit road. Anyways, the reason I say this, the 21 of Private Patton, knowing that there may be issues on pit road, could easily bring the caution. So he's staying out there now. You've got slower and faster cars.
Hey guys, can you take this for a minute? I got an important phone call.
Yeah, we're good. So there's a lot of scenarios that a caution could come out. So the 21 staying out here as long as he can could be hoping for the caution. Or, like you had said, he is going to have 4 fresh tires when he does decide to pit, compared to these guys that are now going to be running at about 70% with their older tires.
Right. And that, so...
He's coming to pit road now.
Yeah, so right here, I'm going to stay on board with, I believe Jake was in second when he pitted.
Yeah, but Country was the first to pit. But Jake is in front of Country, so roger that. I'm trying to look on. Puddin's watching the 18 and the 16, so I'm trying to get to that battle. He walked away, so I'm trying to see what's going on there, so we can talk about what's going on with the viewers. But definitely pay attention so that you can let me know who ends up in the lead after Patton comes out.
Yeah, so Jake just got his lap back here, so I will keep you updated.
Ryan Morgan out there in YouTube lane, thanks for tuning in. Yes, this is Darlington, the track that's too tough to tame. Patton still on pit road. I'm seeing Patton and UK Wildcats actually down on pit road.
So he's coming off pit road now. Jake is coming. So Jake is going to take the lead from him.
Yeah, but the question now is, so Country might also get around Patton. Patton comes up on the track. Here comes Country. I think Patton's going to stay in second place. So the big question now is, how much of Jake's equipment did he use while he was out here running on those fresh tires, and how quickly can that 21 reel him back in?
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Jake right now, knowing that he's got fresh tires behind him, knowing that, really in your mind you were hoping that Country Caliber was going to get in front of him and try to hold him up for a couple of laps, don't overdrive it. Just don't use it up any more than you have to. Save a little bit here so that when he does get to you, you can drive a little more aggressively. But like you said earlier, the biggest thing for Jake is just don't get caught up in anything that's going to knock you out, knowing that this is the second to last race before the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. These 3 races are not necessarily going to be about who's the fastest driver in the 3 races. It's going to be about which 4 drivers made the least amount of mistakes in order to make their way to Homestead. You've had all 20 races to show that you're a fast guy and get yourself in this predicament. You now have 3 races to make less mistakes than the other 6 that you're racing against in the playoffs.
Yeah, and the biggest thing right here, too, from some of these drivers, for the drivers who, knowing after tonight, the points come out, and then going into your final race, which not 100% sure where they're going.
Indianapolis, the regular Indianapolis.
So use this as kind of a thing, because Homestead is slicker or slip like Darlington. The corners are high banked. You can get loose coming off the corner and everything like that. So, this can kind of give you an idea of what you are looking for Homestead as well.
Guys, I know that, Puddin has now switched over. He keeps swapping even though he's on the phone. The 21 of Private Patton is in second place, and he's catching ridiculously fast on the 24. He came out of pit road, and if Puddin could get it over there, if you're listening, Puddin, that'd be great. If not, the 21 was way back with Country Caliber. Country Caliber still looks to be about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds behind the 24 car. The 21 was right in front of the 11 when he came out of pit lane. He is now currently looks to be about a second behind the 24 at most, if not even closer than that. So the 21 with those fresh tires is definitely reeling in the 24, like we had spoke about would happen with him having staying out a little bit later.
But again, is he using up his car trying to get to Jake? Because we all know in every Giggity race here, you know, you're the leader, the guy behind you looks like he's closing in, but once he gets to you, sometimes they've used up their equipment trying to get to you and then don't have anything to get by you.
Yeah, so depending on who's up front, actually, I agree and disagree with that statement completely. Depending on who's up front and who the chaser and who the chasee is, in a scenario like this, both the 21 and the 24, both veterans here, Private Pat, really, really good with presets. Jake Giroux, he's known as the preset guru here at Giggity Racing League, always been a top contender. I don't think the 24 is feeling too much pressure. However, if you had a rookie, for example, in that position, he might overdrive the car to stop the guy from being able to catch him, aka causing even more issues. And just like you were saying, the 21 here could be using his stuff ridiculously, but he doesn't seem to be gaining so fast to prove to me that he's overdriving the car. He seems to be gaining just that right rate to say, okay, I know I got the fresh tires. Let me just get up there. Once I get there, I got to have something to be able to make that pass go with exactly what you were saying. AJ Storm out there, prayers for the Avery Jarrett and his family. You'll be seeing him. We'll have a prayer race for him next race as his mother going through a real hard time. Everybody here at Giggity, man, we're praying for you. We love you and hope to see you do well tonight, man.
So here's the anticipation that we all been waiting for. The 21 is there. So the question is, what is Jake going to do? Is Jake going to try to hold him off? Or is Jake just going to pull over, let the 21 go? You know, stages aren't really a big thing right now. But Jake, so I've raced with Jake in the past in presets. There was Jake has talked before in the past. We had a race at Kentucky. Jake's not necessarily a driver to roll over and just let a guy go. You have to work past him. So it's kind of a double-sided thing here.
Well, and every point matters. They're closing in on the end of stage 1 here. You get 3 points for winning the stage. You get 2 for finishing second, 1 for finishing third. And again, we spoke about it's whoever can have the 4 drivers with the most points at the end of these 3 races makes it to Homestead. Jake is sitting pretty right now. He is the points leader, but any point matters. It would stink to have a bad week next week and be eliminated because you finished second here in stage 1 instead of getting a stage that you could have won. So if I'm the 24 car, I'm doing everything I can to keep that 21 behind me, respectfully and clean. And at the same time, now that I'm there, and you see Jake putting the block on the 21 car, so that's definitely what he's thinking. I'm assuming we're down to less than 2 to go. This might even be the last lap of the stage. But if I'm the 21 car, I'm going to do everything I can to get around that 24 car for the exact same fact. I want to prove, headed to Homestead, that, hey, Jake, even though you won the regular season championship, I'm here for the title. Right.
And, I'm not sure really how what the gaps look like here, but if it's anything like Monday night preset trucks, that 1 point could make a difference. There's heated battles in that points battle right now as well.
So Jake enters this race with an 8-point lead over Private Patton actually in second. But Private Patton has 31 points, and we spoke about Big Dane not being here. Right behind him is UK Wildcat sitting in 6th place entering this race. He has 25 points. So from second to 5th is only a 6-point gap. So again, every point matters here.
Right, and the biggest thing for UK Wildcats is he could finish 3rd in each stage, get 1 point, and bring it down to a 2-point gap between him and Big Dane.
Yeah, and another race for points here that we're not even speaking about, but coming to the end of the stage here, the 32 car is catching the 11. The 32 is not in the playoffs. The 11 is. Will the 32 push his issue and try to get past the 11 car, in which case he holds a spot and doesn't give points to somebody, but he's taking points away from someone.
Right.
So the 11 being in the top 4 right now, by reducing his points that he can gain now, is helping the drivers that are outside the top 4 in points.
Yeah, which is a big scare for Country Caliber, because this 1 point, again, could be your ticket to Homestead.
Real quick, guys, not to interrupt you, I do apologize. That was a very, very important phone call. But Avery Jarrett out there, again, we're going to touch on it quite a bit through this race. Please pay attention to the next race. He said his mom's going to be paying attention into the next race. But yes, guys, one of our own, AJ Storm out there, and him and his mother, his family, everybody is dealing with some, a big situation. She had successful surgery today. I've been on touches with AJ out there. He's running a custom paint scheme. If you haven't already, too, it is all over Facebook. It is all over YouTube, all over the messages, too. There is a GoFundMe. If you guys can do anything, we're having a charity race for him also on Saturday. So our thoughts and prayers are still with you, AJ. And the news that you gave us today, that it was a successful surgery, the thoughts and prayers are still going to be coming your way. Everybody in Giggity is thinking about you as we end the stage right there. But yes, pay attention to, guys. We'll touch on this a couple more times, but the next race is very important to AJ and to all of Giggity, so stay tuned for that one too, buddy.
Yeah, so Country Caliber right here can definitely take a deep breath because Big Jim got a little bit loose coming off turn 2 that kind of gave him the cushion that he needed. But if you're Country Caliber right now, you put in Tatty. Knowing that the two in front of you are ahead of you in points, you need to try to gain some points on them. What do you do to the car to try to get back up there with them?
I'm not making any adjustments. If I'm the 11 car and the car feels good right now, I don't know if he's loose or tight, you know what I mean? But if the car's feeling good right now, I'm not going to make any adjustments. We just finished third. Like we spoke about, you don't have to win this, the 3-race little mini-series. You don't have to win the races. You don't have to finish first at the end of it. You just have to be in the top 4. Finishing third in every stage in every race should lock you in because the 24 and the 21 are already first and second, right? The 11 entered in 4th place entering this race. All he's got to do is beat the other 6 in the playoffs. And one of those guys, his biggest contender, the 20 car, not here tonight. That's going to make it a little easier. The 16 to tackle, he's on pit road, so he's not in contention. Again, a little bit easier. And now that he's gotten that stage point, he and Duck Humor in the 4 are tied. So if I'm the 11, the only car I'm worried about on that track right now is the 4 of Duck Humor.
Right. Which, right there, makes a good move to get to the inside of Big Jim, but Big Jim is going to get a run coming down the straightaway. But I believe he's going to try to shut the door coming off turn 4 on him.
Yeah, we actually, to go a little bit more in depth with that, so right, we seen that in the Custom Truck Series, actually. We had a driver, lost his cool a little bit. He, as well as he, in his own mind, felt that he was racing this other person for a whole lot, when in reality they were racing this person for nothing. To anybody that doesn't know, Sanity and Newfie Girl, they were racing each other week in, week out for race wins. The thing is, Newfie didn't make the minimum race requirement, so Sanity never had to beat Newfie Girl, right? He could finish behind her every single week. She could win the race, he could finish second, as long as it's going to keep him out of trouble, right? There's no reason to race people like that. However, racer's mentality, you don't come to a race to finish second. You're
right
here to win the race. But at this point in time in the season, big picture, you need to think about Homestead. And that's just for instance. I'm not calling out Sanity or Newfie. I'm just, that's for instance. You know what I mean? Big picture here, if I'm the 11, I'm not making many changes. I just had a car that finished third. I'm running second right now. The car is good enough to be in competition and make it to Homestead if I'm Country Caliber.
Right, and I mean, coming from a driver like me who is in the top 4 to advance to Homestead for Monday Night Preset trucks, the biggest thing that I'm doing is I'm keeping an eye on my competition in front of me and the 3 drivers behind me. Because the 3 drivers behind me, one of them could take my spot. So not only I'm not too much worried about the guys in front of me, it's the people behind me. I need to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a position that's going to essentially give up positions to the people behind me.
Right, same instance for me actually tonight, right? So I entered Darlington, one of my weakest tracks. I entered tonight in 6th. Had last week at Watkins Glen, I think I started points.
Ooh, big shuffle up here. In the Jake is up front. Sorry, the 11 checked up just a little bit. That checked up Private Pat in the 32. Sorry back there. What's up, McLovin? How you doing, babe?
McLovin, one of the members of JCR, sponsor for tonight, created by JCR Clashing. JCR JWOW is back. They picked up a driver named JCR McLovin. Y'all might recognize him from Thursday nights. They are the sponsor here for the Giggity Racing League. They just want a little bit of recognition on their driving and their talent. Make sure to tune in each week and try
Battle
to see
for second.
McLovin.
Yep.
JCR is sponsoring.
Battle
So
for second.
Yeah, Big Jim hit the wall, and he is in a really bad position right now. He has got cars lined up on his inside.
Yeah, we're going to try to scroll back just a little bit back here, get some of this back here action. Ooh, cars are getting loose all over.
I think Big Jim's a little out of date as he's driving a Halloween scheme here in January.
Hey, you know what? Orange and black. That is always the colors of KMS, though.
I'm actually a little upset, right, because I drive the 32 here tonight, but I don't have that scheme because, you know, 704 Games did this amazing thing where they made people pay almost $100 for a video game so that you could get every downloadable content for free afterwards, and then they changed their mind and said, oh, $7.99, $9.99 for every downloadable content, including that scheme, and I said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
So we have a battle for the lead right here. Country Caliber is taking a look on the outside of Jake, but now he's going to use that bottom.
Oh, he gets loose!
Oh, and he got loose and just pounded the left front on that wall. So this is exactly what Tatty was talking about, is don't necessarily push it, because now he's in a hole.
Wait, so I said something right? Yes!
So now he's going to have to dig himself back up here, because essentially next stage he could not get any points.
Right,
Which Duck Humor is in third place right now, so...
Yeah, and one other huge thing, right? Well, I mean, Duck Humor is in the top 4 also, right? So you want to pass him so that you have a little bit of leeway entering next week at Indianapolis. But he was racing, it was Jake, right? He was side by side with Jake.
Crab leg hits the wall.
So Jake's points leader, Jake, with or without passing Jake, it's not really going to differ whether or not you make the playoff. However,
crab leg hits the apron back here and spins around. Single car accident.
Ooh, not going to be a caution for that. Although the 11 does want to see a caution right now. But, right, so if you're racing somebody like Jake, and we'd seen what had happened early, or in stage 1, they had that first caution and then everything went green the whole rest of the stage. We're early in stage 2 still. If this goes green, he's in a world of hurt now because he's going to lose more and more time with all that damage. He's going to have to pit and fix it. And anyways, right, so you could have just waited, been patient, and then the last 5 laps of the stage, then try to make your move. But at the same time, again, racer mentality. Nobody wants to ride in second when you feel like you should be in first.
Right, and that kind of hurt Jake too, because what that did is it allowed the 21 to get to the inside of Jake and take the lead back over.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Top 5 have gone single file up here. That's Flirt with Disaster again, feeling better. He's sitting there in that 6, but the top 5 going single file, not pushing any issues. Jake in second, Private Patent right there, and the Quackmaster himself sitting in third. Big Jim and UK Wildcats rounds out your top 5. Little bit of a 2-car breakaway right now, but not too bad. The draft will hopefully get him pulled back up there as long as you can, navigate these tricky turns there at Darlington correctly.
Okay, back to the... Sorry, go ahead.
I love that 88 paint scheme. One of my favorites.
Speaking of the 88 car, back to the playoff contention. The 11 is now wrecked. His car is injured, right? Top 5 in points. Subtract Big Dane, right? So 1 through 6, taking Big Dane out, making it your top 5 as he didn't show. So you have the 24, the 21, the 4 and the 11 are tied for 3rd and 4th. The next car in line is the 88, who's running 4th right now. If he can get by the 4 car and gain a point, that's going to hurt the 11 simply because he was running against the 24 so hard.
Right. Which, right here, UK Wildcats, it does look like he
either
changed up his line of racing or did something to the car, because he's on the back of Duck Humor right now.
Sorry to keep bringing it up, guys, but at this point in time in the season, that's what all the talk is the playoffs. Like, that's what we're in. We're in the playoffs. All that matters at this point in time is who's going to make Homestead. Finishing 8th, 9th, 10th place in line, it's not going to do you any justice. It's all about that top 5 from here on out.
top two still starting to try to work away back here. Let's click through the field. UK in the Big Jim battle with Duck Humor right there.
McLevin, any night of the week that I race, you can tune in, and I promise you I'll be getting wrecked. That's just how racing is. Thanks for tuning in, though. Dean, lucky for you, you can wreck me, and I can't park you anymore.
He's got 4 permanent boots on his car. He's permanently bugged. Oh, UK making a move to the inside back here of the 4 car. Which way is Big Jim going to go in that 32?
So this is where the 11 got hurt. You know, trying to make a pass. He's not going to clear him coming into the last turn. You know, okay, so he is. So right there, that's good for UK Wildcats, because now he's clear. He's not going to lose it. But something happened to Jake, because Jake fell way off from the 21.
He scraped the wall again. On the exit of a corner, he scraped the wall. That's what happened on the 24. Okay, so actually, the 88 passing the 4, this is actually really, really good for the 11. The 11 and the 4 are tied after the 11 got that stage point last stage. He finished 3rd, so he got that 1 point. So him and the 4 are tied. Right now, they're both sitting outside of a playoff or a stage point, so neither one of them are going to get points. The 88 is going to gain on both of them, but again, making it easier for the 11 to be racing a car like the 4. Those 3 cars right now, the spotlight is all about the 88, the 4, and the 11. Sorry to keep bringing it up, but again, that's realistically at this point in the season, that's all that matters, is who's going to be that 4th spot.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back and find the 11. So the 11 is rounding off turn 2 right now. The leader is where on the track?
Coming off 4.
So he's not losing terrible time. You know,
he's
he's
about
in the
a half
middle.
track back.
Right.
He's got to be losing some time, though, because you know that car, one of 2 things. It's not going as fast as it possibly can because of all that damage, especially the aero damage on the front. Second, you know it's not handling that well. He hates it here right now. He is not having a good time. Over to you, Puddin'.
Right.
Yeah, these guys now have got, you know, clearly come down in the last stage, made their adjustments. Crab Leg and Country back here, they are having difficult moments. Good battle back there. Still seems to be for that 3rd and 4th spot, but Private Pat and Jake starting to snake away just a little bit.
I actually think that the 88 and the 32 are catching up to both of the leaders. Jake has fallen now to within a second of the 88. Yeah, he did scrape the wall and lose a little bit to the 21, but the 88 and the 32 seem to be catching that 24 Hendrick Noco Chevrolet of Jake Giroux. And I don't think Jake's losing the 21 anymore, so that just says to me the 88 and the 32 are the fastest 2 cars on the track right now.
Yeah, I can't take my eyes off those 2 cars. They're cruising up to them right now, so...
It does, however, seem that the number 24 of Jake Giroux looks like he's, whatever he did for adjustments, he seemed to have gone the wrong way. It looks like he's a little bit looser now on exit than what he used to be. I don't know if maybe he's a little nervous about catching that wall, so he's oversteering the car. But he definitely seems to be a little bit looser than he was in stage 1 on the exits these corners.
Couldn't help but notice, too, in YouTube land, we got another Canadian out there being overran, RKM. What's up, man? Good guy. Loved it. A lot of good jokes. Good racer. Had fun racing with him the other night at Iowa.
To Trout. Trout just got loose off of 2. He almost caught the inside wall, but he saved it.
And I think Duck's car's getting a little loose, too. Private's still, he's on rails right now, but the 88 and the 32 have got to that rear bumper of the Jake Giroux 21 car. Again, guys, can you take it for just a minute, please?
Yeah, something I want to speak about real quick here, actually. I said Trout just got loose off the corner. It reminded me. One of the craziest finishes in Giggity history here at Darlington. Trout had gotten loose off of turn 2. He was on the backstretch, down on the bottom. The next car had also gotten loose off of turn 2 late in the stages. I believe it was in a custom race. And anyways, they made contact with the 18. Caution came out. We went under a green-white checkered. And the 18 car had to restart dead last after being what caused the caution. He won that race. After passing 12 cars in the 2 laps, he won the race.
There's been some crazy finishes at Darlington. I mean, if you go back to season 4.5, or excuse me, season 4, you know, there was a finish between me and another car where I ended up winning that race. You know, Darlington sets up a lot of good finishes. It's a hard track, but good finishes can come out of it. And now the top 4 are bumper to bumper.
Yeah, Big Jim up here, he's right on the tail of that 88 of UK Wildcats. We spoke about how those guys were the fastest 2 on the track. They caught the 24. That little bit of draft was able to speed the 24 up. Now they've all caught the 21 of Private Patton. Big Jim looking to play spoiler and get up here and steal some stage points. He doesn't have any teammates running for this championship, so he's here to win. Get some owner points for the KMS and the Puddin stable. So that 32 car again, he's been on rail all night long, and he's trying to play spoiler to these playoff guys right now.
Yeah, so I don't know if the 21's car is falling off or if he's in the same boat as the 24 where he made an adjustment that he may not be liking right now because patience is the biggest thing right here for all these guys.
I'm interested to see, we just saw the 88 and the 32 both get loose on the exit. Looked like the 24 was signaling
he's pitting.
Pit.
Yep.
So what's really intriguing to me is anybody else going to stay out longer like the 21 did last time? It seemed to have worked out. He had the fastest car at the end of the stage. However, Jake, sticking to his own guns and strategy, pit and won stage 1. Are the 88 and the 32, are they going to be pitting here shortly, or are they going to follow the route of the 21 and hope to gain speed at the end of the run?
And it looks like the 21's pitting. The 32 signaled that he was pitting, so we'll see if they pit right here. Yeah, so the 21's going down, 32 is going down. So Patton is not going to stay out as long as he did last time. So that's not all eyes are on the 88. What's the 88 going to do? Is he going to stay out, or is he going to come down?
I'm sorry, I swapped over to Jake's stream real quick, see if when he comes out pit road, which on his stream he's still in pit road, but I want to see how many laps are remaining when he comes out.
Yeah, and the 88 did not signal, so he's going to stay out. Jake's coming down pit road right now, which I don't believe he's going to end up a lap down.
He's already a lap down, yeah.
Okay.
About a lap and a half down.
So UK is coming through 1 and 2 now. Jake is through 3 and 4. So now Jake is in the same boat as last time, is don't use up the car, but it worked in his favor last time.
Sorry, I'm still intrigued on his right now. He's 1 lap down. It looks like 25 laps remaining. So the 88's definitely going to have to pit. It's just a question of when at this point.
And Jake just took over what essentially will be the race lead when they circle back around, because he took over the 21 and the 32 as they're coming up to speed. So I'm going to ride with the 32 with those 2 in front. We'll have to keep an eye on the 88 and see where he's going to end up filing in on all this.
Yeah, myself and Puddin are riding along with the 88 right now. And just so the viewers at home know, Puddin keeps saying that he's getting pulled away from the microphone because he's in an important phone call. In reality, his wife Ashley is right behind him, beating him with a flip-flop. So
no, sorry guys, we are dealing. Ashley and I have, well, Mrs. P and I have an emergency of our own right now. So I apologize, guys. So that's why I had a phone call. She just came back. No joking this time. I know I'm a jokester, but this is... So I apologize for taking away from that. As I've been muted, I've been trying to still click through the field and keep up with the leaders. I saw a bunch of people on pit lane.
88's on pit road now. He is your leader. The 24 and the 21 coming around, they are going to get back on the lead lap right now.
Yep.
And the 88 is yet to be in his pit stall. So by the time this cycles around, it looks like 24 and 21 will take the lead. But again, the 88 has to do this. The 88 is the guy on the outside looking into the playoffs right now.
And the 21's making a move on the 24 right now.
So the 88 can't do the same thing that the guys that are already locked in are doing. He's got to do something different. He can't just hope and pray that he gets in there. He's got to make his own luck happen.
And the 21 and the 24 are coming to the start line now. So where's the 88?
He's coming off the pit lane now. He is coming off the pit lane now.
He lost a lot of time.
But he's going to have 4 fresh tires that these guys don't have.
Can he make up now? Yeah, as the 4 is actually getting around him. But again, Big Jim, the 32 car, sitting there in third, playing spoiler. If the 88, the 4, and the 11, if none of them get a stage point, this stage doesn't hurt any of them.
Right.
Yeah, Big Jim again, like you just said, playing that spoiler card tonight. Glad to see him back out on the track. He was out for the holidays, missed last week with a technical error. But the Jake Giroux vehicle sitting in second right there, trying to track down that Ford Mustang of Private Patton.
And if I'm with Patton right now in first place, I'm rooting for the 32 to take over that second place from Jake, because that'll give Patton 3 points and Jake 1 point. So that'll help kind of even the gap back out between those two, because Jake got 3 last time, Patton got 2. So
4 fresh tires of UK works go real good. He goes below that little bit of a white line. He makes a slide jab happen back here on Doug Humer. So can he track him down on those 4 freshies? Those staying out so late.
Man, seeing that move where he ducked below the dotted yellow line there to get by the 4 car, yes, he's faster. Yes, he needed to get that position so he can get up to those top 3. But at what expense? If you're going to use all your equipment, by the time you do get there, you're not going to have anything left to be able to make the passes. So kind of what we've seen with the 21 car in stage 1. The 88 just needs to, he knows he's got the 4 fresh tires. Don't overdrive the car. Just ease your way up there. Take advantage. There's 20 plus laps left here, or right around 20 laps left. So he's got plenty of time. But in 20 laps, you don't want to have nothing left of your car.
So the 32 has a peek to the inside of the 24 to let him know, hey, I'm here.
And again, we spoke about it. The 32 is doing nothing right now except racing for his team. He's not racing for a title. He's not racing for the playoff points at all. It doesn't do him any justice to win a stage. He's here to win the race. However, it's a lot easier to win the race when you start P1 in stage 3 than when you start P3, P4, P5 in the stage.
Absolutely.
And guys, again, please stay tuned with the next race. Again, for you out there, AJ, please check out all the, it's on all the messengers. I know I put it out there on Facebook, everything else too. We got a GoFundMe going on for them. He's running a custom paint scheme tonight, not to take away from this action, but we do need to keep bringing that up to attention. And it looks like the 88 is reeling these guys in single-handedly right now too, but... I'm definitely looking for some help for the custom broadcast booth. I know Justin said he wouldn't be able to do the customs. Taddy will obviously be participating, so any help would be great. Any help would be much appreciated for a very, very emotional race tonight in the custom side. Oh, Big Jim gets loose.
Oh, no. He's still running, though. Luckily, he was able to hold on to third, but that's going to help UK Wildcats. If 32 loses the draft, that's going to help the 88 car, who did it about 6-7 laps later. Real quick, I want a story about Avery Jarrett. As far as the NASCAR Heat community goes, Avery Jarrett is a very huge part of me being the KTatty that I am today. When Heat 3, I'd say when it first came out, but it was like January, February of the year that Heat 3 was already out. I had just gotten the game. Somebody of mine wanted me to get the game so I could run some preset league with them. I'm like, cool, whatever. But I was always intrigued on the Custom Cup Series side of it, or custom side of it. So I joined this other league, and AJ happened to be one of the admins of it. And they were just getting ready to do a draft, and nobody really knew who I was. I'd only done like one race with them, maybe 2. And Avery Jarrett said, you know what, I like your style. I'm going to help you out. I'll throw you some setup, see what you can do. He threw me a setup. I ran their development series at the time, and immediately after AJ actually drafted me, and he said that I had a lot of potential to become, a really good driver, and that never happened. I never did become a good driver, but he did say that I had potential, and so after racing there for a little while, I didn't really like it. I thought that we could do more, and because of that, really, that inspiration that he had given me, we went ahead and made Giggity, thinking that it could be a big thing, and everybody sees what Giggity is today, so a lot of that all due to Avery Jarrett and his what he'd seen in me for the potential. So I always will have that spot in my heart for AJ, and I really hate seeing that you're going through this, bud.
We have a 3-wide battle for first place. I don't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
They were just 3 wide coming down the front stretch. The 30, and the 24 got the wall. Put the 21 on the apron.
Oh, contact.
The wall.
24 in the wall.
Oh my God.
24 to the 32. All this is doing is making UK Wildcats smile from ear to ear.
Yeah, and the
I'm gonna step out
32
for 1 second.
The 32 he got loose earlier, and that gave him a chance to catch back up. Then all of that hecticness, he's back up there. That 88 is just licking his chops. UK Wildcat is just back here, waiting. Thank you again, Extreme Dirt Racing. He says Giggity Racing is awesome for sure. Big inspiration for helping them out over there, and it trickles down. Again, like and subscribe, Giggity Racing. Like and subscribe, Extreme Dirt Racing over there. You might see some familiar names too, but UK Wildcat's a very familiar name here in Giggity. Took those tires late. These guys racing, Tatty has given him a chance to get caught back up to him, and once again, we got some Mustang Camaro crying for second place, and I like what Big Jim's doing, though. He's not pushing issues. He knows that Jake's up there, but he still wants to race. He's still racing for a W at the same time, but not trying to intentionally do anything to take Jake out, ruin any championship implications for him.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Big Jim and the 88 car. If the 88 car is able to get there, is Big Jim going to concede and give up that spot, or is the 88 going to have to race really hard to get up there?
Well, again, these guys are on a lot older tires. They've been racing. He made that one move, like you said, to get around the quack of Duck Humor, excuse me. So I don't think he used and abused his equipment too much, but great battle as we see it up here for the 24 and the 32 car. Pro 75 back there going below just a little bit.
I have no idea what that said. A little too blurry on my screen here.
Yep.
Again, guys, Puddin is looking for some help for the Custom Cup Series broadcast. If anybody is willing to assist in that, that would be amazing. Good talk. All right, so Big Jim all down to back to that 24. It looks like the 88 seems to have leveled out. I don't see him gaining any more ground here, and that's one of two reasons. One, because these guys aren't racing, and two, because they're working together, as it seems. The 32 and the 24 working together to catch back up to the 21, knowing that going in a two-car tandem, aka with the draft, is a lot faster than being a single car. So, and it's worked. They've caught back up to the 21, but unfortunately, it looks like the 88's kind of leveled out, and he really needs to get up there and get at least one of these drivers, if not two of them.
How many laps do we have left?
I don't know. I tried looking on Jake's deal, and I couldn't tell. I would assume probably about 7 or 8 laps.
And they are tracking the leader down. Jake gets loose.
So loose.
He comes back up, right in front of the 32. I don't know if the 32 had to lift for that or not, but if I'm the 32,
I'm sure he did.
Regardless of the 24 being point speeder or not, I'm not happy with him coming right back up in front of me like that.
No. Yeah.
Paul Bear said he'll help you out during the custom.
There's stage 2 Nuka Bob. I just saw that. Thank you, Paul Bear. Anybody else also would like to help us out? Again, Giggity, one big family. I always say it. We live in a giant mansion. Each team has its own separate rooms, and at the breakfast table sometimes the tempers might get flared, but at times like this is how awesome. Jake gets loose again.
Looks like he almost got the inside wall. He lost a lot of time. Here comes the 88, his teammate.
One caution tonight very early. Again, something we haven't seen a lot out of these guys, so let's see how this is going to affect Country Caliber too. He needs to get work back up there. Battle for the lead. 32 of Big Jim tracking down Mustang.
And I just want to point out right there, Big Jim did not do anything wrong. All he was doing was putting pressure on the 24. And, he may have just had the 24 use up his tires more than he needed to. 24 just happened to get loose, and he was there in the right spot at the right time.
Oh, Private Patton scrapes the wall just a little bit. I know Jake's banging sticks. He's on a controller. I know Big Jim's on a wheel, too. So it's a lot easier to hold on to a looser car on a wheel. But still, stage points are a big necessity for him, but he's got to change.
We have how many laps left?
I don't know. That's what I said.
So if we're like 8 laps right now, let's say, Country Caliber is only half a track in front of the leader.
Yeah, with two other cars up there. So not only could Country lose a lap, But if those other two cars also lose lap and Country's not the lucky dog, that could hurt him severely as far as championship implications.
So this is where the long run did not help that damage on his car whatsoever. Oh, that may have been the end of the stage. Yeah, so
Private
the best thing for the best thing for him now is go down pit road, get that damage fixed, but don't over push it coming back to the front.
Now, what I had spoke about Big Jim playing spoilers. Patton got the stage win, and Jake only got one. So as far as first and second, that helps Patton. But as far as for the 11 car, that helps the Big Jim's the one that finished second because that stopped UK Wildcats from gaining ground on the 11 in the championship standing. So it's all going to come down to where they finish now. Had they finished right there, I still think UK Wildcats would have made up the 5 points that he needed on Country Caliber. But now it's a whole new deal. The 11 is right back in the ballgame and can minimize the amount of points that he loses, if not gain ground.
Yep, and these guys are going to go down and make some more adjustments. Still have an opportunity to do that at least one more time. I know for sure, possibly two if it stays green for green flag pit stops. But we're going to, what do we do here? We're going to rack them and stack them.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what the 32 is going to do right here. Is he going to try to stay on the... Oh, he's actually on the inside. So is the 21 going to try to stay out on his outside, or is he going to try to get single file behind the 32?
We're going to see what happens. He does get the jump on him, and it looks like he immediately just flipped that throttle and jumped right behind it. 24 Jake Rue right there, too. This gives the Country Caliber guy a chance to get caught back up there.
And Duck Humor in the 19 touched doors during turns 1 and 2, which allowed UK to get single file immediately.
Now let's see what Big Jim can do, though. He's on 4 fresh tires, got enough fuel, got his adjustments, and we know how quick he is. See what he can do with a clean air and clean racetrack in front of him.
As they sit right now, UK Wildcats is 3 points, made up 3 points on the 11 car. That would make him only 2 points behind entering Indianapolis next week.
And we got 18 viewers out there too, so a great turnout in YouTube land. Thanks to all of you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, stay tuned. We got something kind of special coming up for AJ, man. Again, we're thinking about you. If you're out there in YouTube land, give us a what's up. Say, you know, give a little bit of shout out.
Yeah, and the 11's running 7th right now. So if I'm the 11, I'm going to ride for a couple of laps. You know, you have the 19 in front of you. The 19 hasn't really been a car up in the lead pack for most of the night, so just keep an eye on him, you know, work your way around him slightly, and it looks like the 24 got into the wall, which is allowing the 88 to get to the inside of him.
Trying to get back up there again. Good sized field tonight. Now the UK Wildcats go to bed is up to that 3rd spot. Duck Humor right behind him, followed by Flirt with Disaster, Big Jim, and Private Patton. That's your there's your 2 leaders right now. Single file, a lot of patience, like you said earlier there, Justin. Nobody's pushing any issues right now, because not only can you take a chance of hurting your car, you can take a chance of hurting somebody else's car, and some of these guys want to get their lap back, you know. They might want to see a caution, but right now is not the time to push any issues. It is a long race, and it does get daunting. We've done it on, you know, I don't know how many times I've done it on the wheel, but you just gotta, you know, when you want to make that move, lift up off that throttle pedal, get off the hammer just a little bit, and make sure that you're there at the end, and that's what you got to do to get a win.
Right, and I mean, Tatty was talking about, you know, the 32 could be a spoiler. Well, we're seeing the 19 and the 18 now. They're putting pressure on some of the top 4. You know, can they, you know, make some spots and knock these guys down further in the finishing order to take away some of those points?
Hold on, let's keep in mind with the 19 and the 18, every driver on the track except the 32 and the 38 are racing for the playoffs. So the 19 and the 18, these guys are only 1 or 2 points behind UK Wildcats entering tonight. So they're trying to get up there, and they're trying to get ahead of basically everyone from Patton on back. They want to be ahead of themselves. They didn't lose ground to the 4, the 11, the 88 last stage either. They're trying to get their marking where it's more reachable and containable playoff hopes as they enter Indianapolis next week. So these guys will not just pull over. The 19 is the teammate of the 11, but that does not mean he's going to pull over and let that 11 have the position. As the 4 and the 11, mind you, entering this stage are tied in points. The 88, 5 points behind them both. As right now, as it sits, he has gained 4 points on the 11 car.
Yeah, the 19 just made a great pass on the 4 for 4th place.
Yeah, flirt with disaster. And, you know, Captain Insano, Pocono Steve, so many names he likes to go by. Great to see he's feeling better. And he was definitely starting to say that, hey, I am back up here. I can breathe again. I can go do this deal. Very consistent driver Hunter is.
Yeah, Tatty keeps saying teammates. Let's just say it as it is. There's no teammates. It's every driver for themselves. As soon as the regular season ended, the teammate thing went out the window. You know, if you're in the playoffs with a teammate, you know that you're teammates, but at the same time, you're all trying to win a championship. The teammate word is out the window.
Yes, and a little bit of boom vision right now. Justin on board with 32 of Big Jim. Looks like he's pulled 5 or 6 cars out on Private Patton, and then behind him there's another 7 to 10 car lengths to third of UK Wildcats in that 88. So Big Jim just was patiently waiting, got up front, used some pit strategy, didn't push any issues. But taking that KMS 32 Ford Mustang, and he's looking real good with it right now. Still a long race to go. Anything can happen here at Darlington.
Yeah, and if you're a team owner right now, and you're, you know, obviously they pay attention to their cars every week. These 3 races that are happening now for every series, these are the most difficult ones. Because if you've got your 3 drivers, one of them's in, 2 of them are in looking onto a spot, it's difficult because you want to see all your drivers succeed. So you're biting your fingernails because you want them to work together as a team, but at the same time, it's every man for themselves.
Puddin can't bite his fingernails. He doesn't have any teeth.
Well,
it happens.
Sorry.
If Pudding's team wins the championship, it was rigged.
So
yeah, no, we're sitting 4th in points right now. Yeah, it's sitting 4th. Yeah, we're sitting 4th right now. NRG and Cola, they're all looking good as a rookie team this year. I could not be more proud than everybody. Custom and Preset tied. They show up every week. They put in the effort. Things do happen. But, I can't be any more proud of these guys. But at the same time, it's just that elusive Giggity win. I have won in other series. I won elsewhere, but yep, I'm trying to get there. I saw that. But just to get a win in Giggity, the bragging rights, though, that's more elusive than anything else out there.
Yeah, and I was scared for the 11 to get back up on the track because I did not want him to spin out.
Yeah, you were speaking about owners biting their nails. That's Team NRG Motorsports right there. The 11 and the 19 making contact. The 11 closest up in points, 19 trying to make his way in. But contact like that could have hurt both of them. Luckily, the 11 got by the 19 on his sake, as did the 4. So those guys closing in on the 88, again, that's huge playoff implications. Is that's now only a 3-point gap from the 88 to the 11.
Yeah,
only giving the 11 a 2-point gap.
You've got 3 of the NRG cars right here lined up with each other.
That's not true. The 18 races for No Shift Motorsports.
Oh. So that's my teammate. Sorry.
Oh, Private Patton gets loose coming up turn 2. The top 2 have stepped out just a little bit. Cole Motorsports out there says, how many laps? Paul Bear just said it. We are probably about 10 to 13 laps into stage 3. Quite a few to go. So you got a lot of time to go over there and be sweaty with that game that shoots people, buddy. Cole Motorsports again. I'm going to wish him a happy birthday a couple days ago. I think he turned 13, the only 13-year-old with a beard I know.
I want to keep in mind the 21 car up here, he's running in 2nd place right behind the 32. He's in contention to win this race. But again, the win doesn't really matter. He's not racing the 32. 32 is not playoff eligible, so the 21 just needs to be aware of that and not utilize all of his equipment right now, where he might mess up and put himself in the embracement of the 88 and the 24 car. Also, speaking of which, the 24 car has gained on the 88, and he's running nose to tail with that car. So the 2 NOCO Motorsports cars are trying to work together and catch these 2 Ford Mustangs up here for the lead.
Right, and the 21 could put himself in a situation that the 11 was just in. He could lose it under the 32 and hit the wall. And the third stage is not where you want to do that, because if you do that in the third stage, your race is over.
Yeah, you could just go join Tackleberry and
Battle for the lead.
Crab leg on pit road.
Yeah, and the 30, like Tatty was saying, the 32 has nothing to lose, so he's going to
32
race he's going to race the 21 hard. He's going to try to stay on his door.
Good battle for the lead. New leader, 2, Private Pat, at 21. Right behind him, Jake Giroux and UK Wildcat. Sorry, Teddy, in that 88. Love to see that. That game didn't so much. A little bit tight, but those guys just went side by side at one of the trickiest tracks to do that. Barely, if they did touch, a little bit of contact with the wall that sat that Darlington stripe, but these guys are putting on one heck of a show tonight.
Yeah, that 32 car, he's going to stick all over the 21 of Private Pat. He's not here to finish second. He's here to win. He's here to help out the KMS stable with that black and orange color scheme that he's got going on. So don't be surprised if you see the 32. Try to keep the pressure on and keep making moves on the 21 car.
And if I'm the 88 and the 24, I'm rooting, or in my mind, I'm yelling at the 32 to keep the pressure on the 21 and race him. Because that's going to allow them to gain ever so slightly further and further on those two.
Yeah, I just
big battle
honestly,
back here in the back behind them too. Let's get back there. 4 cars. Duck Humor gets loose. Flirt with Disasters in that pack. Country Caliber and A-Trout. They were just all 4 bunched up right there. Duck got the bad end of that stick, it looked like, though. Country trying to get back up there. He likes this track too. I know he does. So it's you know, if he can't get in that top 3, especially for points, just a disappointing night not to do, you know, not to be successful at a track that you really enjoy, and that's frustrating because I've been there myself. Yep, Crab Legs and Tackleberry. Looks like they've had a couple issues tonight. Still, this is right. We just click back over. Private Pat on 21 to 32. That's Big Jim. He's sitting in second. Right behind him is UK Wildcats and the 24. Jake, that is the top 4. So a battle within a battle with these 4 cars.
Yep.
Best color commentary in the world right there. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that battle back there with those 4 cars got them all separated. Flirt looks like he got the 11 in front of him. That's Daddy himself, Country Caliber. Now can they track down that 18? That's A-Trout up there. Duck Humor, like, he got real bad into the wall back there in that situation. Maybe this is the time to try to save an extra lap or 2 of fuel or tires to try to, you know, strategize your way back to the front. Strategize a word. It sounds good. I'm going to use it. I think it is.
The 4 is still getting loose on the exit. I believe there's some damage on that car that is causing him to struggle. That, or he believed being stage 3, this is going to be more caution filled, so he actually adjusted his setup for a shorter run than the long run, as he's just loose all over the place now in that 4 car.
And I believe Crab Legs blew an engine.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, racing out of the KMS stable, I wasn't able to get to the garage and build the engine this week and put that reliable putting horsepower underneath the hood. He probably he probably
Crab
went.
Leg was driving. He's the one that's been stealing all of Blakey Tuggle's equipment from his hauler. And we all know that his equipment's not really good, so I don't know why Crab took his stuff, but he did, and now Crab Leg's on pit road.
Yeah, see, I don't build Blakey's engines either, so yeah, why if you're going to steal an engine from the KMS stable, at least steal a good one.
And if you are going to try to steal one of Blake's, just remember that those are 75% off anyways. We'd have just sold it to you for cheap.
And it looks like Jake got around UK Wildcats because they are now losing time to the front 2.
Yep, it does look like that. Yep. Oh, 21 getting loose up front. Man, this is such a hard track. It really wears on you because this is you have to be on your marks every lap. And 184 times around this circuit on the edge, every time you slip up just a little bit, you're going to be in that wall. You oversteer on exit, you're going to be loose. This is not an easy feat that these guys are seeming to make it look so easy, and it's just not.
Hunty said to take a Hunty engine. Why would anybody want a trash can of a Toyota engine? Nobody wants that.
Hunty, there's no right-handed corners here at Darlington.
But
Yeah,
again,
the
guys,
biggest thing here too is this is a hard track because you're not on the brakes. You're off the gas for a split second and you're right back on it. So there's no time to rest.
What are brakes?
brakes.
Well, some people don't use them.
Well, you got to have them to use them.
Yeah, I mean, I only have one pedal even installed in my car.
Yeah.
The class.
I mean, I was just gonna say.
I was gonna say.
it's the old push. It's the old push to lock a parking brake up in the top left-hand corner.
Here's the deal. I don't need a throttle pedal. I just keep my car neutral. I put Dean Clavitt right behind me. He shoves me around the track regardless. So there's not really any reason to use the throttle.
Yeah. Well, when you say around the track, you mean the parking lot with Dean Clavitt.
Yep.
The 19 is around on the front stretch.
Heavy damage.
It looks like he's got really bad damage.
And that's what you get for driving one of Hunty's motors.
Oh, that is. Yep.
Believe he's gonna. Oh, I thought he was gonna come to pit road. He's gonna keep it on the apron right now.
I'm thinking they got to be getting within that window to be pitting here shortly anyways.
Right.
So I'm assuming the 19's trying to run what he does have left here on fuel and hopefully a caution so that he can repair the damage without losing as much time on pit road.
Yeah, Jake got around the 88, but he did not pull away from the 88. The 88 has stayed right there, and now they're starting to gain time on Big Jim again.
Trying to get back there real quick. Yeah, there's that battle with the 88 to 24. Again,
I mean, a couple laps ago, they were losing a lot of time, but they've closed within roughly, a second, Tatty, on second place?
Yep.
Hunty says they work better without damage, but it's still running. Well, still running. The fan shroud's over there clicking and clanking. It's puking steam out of it.
I'm not gonna lie, Toyotas are hard motors to kill unless you're energy.
Yeah. That's what happens when I think NRG runs a D Smith motor though. That's the thing.
I mean, D finishes the races.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it here first. If we do see
Affleck,
pit lane already open. Affleck on pit lane.
It looks like the top two are signaling they're coming down.
I'm intrigued on how close they are to making it to the end. I'm assuming.
Yeah, so the top two coming down now. Second and third stay out.
I'm assuming there's about 35 to 40 laps left in that area. And in the first two stages, we've seen everybody pit with about 25 to go in the stages. So I don't know if maybe that was just splitting the stages in half so that they can make it all the way, or what this scenario was. But it looks like this time all takers are going to happen within just a few laps of each other.
We're on board with the leaders right now. That's the 24 of Jake and the 88 of UK.
I think it might be a situation
Looks like
where
they're
they
staying
need to
out.
save a little bit of gas, because if they could make it, just based on Jake's pitting, I think he would have pitted next lap by if they were good to go.
Spitters. Yeah, Jake's been one of the people that have pit early every single time. So to see him be the one stretching the fuel says to me that there is a fuel strategy. It looks like he's signaling now that he'll be pitting this time by.
Yeah, and it looks like UK Wildcats is going to not pit.
So yeah, we'll see how that pulls out for him. But the new leader is that 88. We just saw the 24 duck on off right there, get onto that very difficult pit lane of Darlington.
Also, Hunty, I am top 10 at Indy Roval.
Whoa. See, that was Luna in the background telling you off there, Hunty. Yep, see?
Yeah, and I'm back on board with Big Jim. He lost a second and a half to Private Patton on pit road. Either
do you think it's
adjustments? Or coming off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you think it's adjustments, or was it an entrance or exit strategy?
It had to have been an exit or an entrance. Either Patton got really good entrance on, or got a hell of an entrance off and was able to gap him.
Are you talking about the 21 and the 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 32 almost spun it out, getting on pit road. He actually almost missed.
Okay, that would be why.
Jake coming off. Jake coming off.
Yeah, and it looks like the 88's on pit road now, so the 21's gonna essentially take the lead back over. Where's Jake gonna file out?
Right behind Big Jim.
Okay.
But he's gonna have the fresher tires.
Right. So I'm gonna go back on board with the 88 and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, he's still on pit lane right now.
Yeah, so he's got kind of a disadvantage. He's got one of the very last pit stalls. No, he doesn't actually. So he's coming off now.
It takes so long to get down there, though.
The hardest part is getting back on the track. You want to push the car, but you don't want to push it too hard to spin it out.
Yes.
His disadvantage is going to be he's got a lap car in front of him, but he does work his way around that 19 pretty quick, because it looks like the 8 car is just now coming to pit road.
That's Pro 75. Was he trying to get some laps back there, keep himself in that championship hunt?
He was on the lead lap. I think actually the way that would have cycled out is he was probably the leader when he pit. He's been a little bit slower all night, but when you're going at a slower speed, you're saving more fuel. So if this does come down to fuel strategy, then the 8 car would have enough. I don't know if it's possible to save fuel. I have no idea. I'm just saying that if it's possible, the 8 car looking strong and in contention.
Yeah, so we'll know quickly if the front two have to save fuel, because Jake and UK Wildcats will get up there almost within the first 10 laps of them being back out on the track.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's going to be the biggest thing to keep an eye on right now, is who's going to be the first driver to start saving the fuel if they need to.
Pro
Probably
75 just now coming off now.
Because right now it does not look like the 21's saving at all, but is it a situation where he's trying to get a big gap and then start saving?
That could be an idea too. You know, anything you got to do to get the win. Darlington is one of these long, tedious races with only one caution. That's the only thing I think could be a game changer for these guys, since they've utilized their own pit strategy. We'll see how it all pans out. I'm on board right now with Jake. He's trying to track down that 32, and they are both in hot pursuit of that 21. Flirt's still heavy damage to the front of that car. I don't know again if that's the glitch or if that's
I'm sure
actually.
he fixed it. I'm sure it just looks like that on our screen.
Yeah.
Usually have to put some pit stops to fix that on our screen.
Yeah, no, he had a lengthy stop when I believe it was UK Wildcats was on pit road, so I think he fixed the damage.
And now we have been graced with the presence of awesomeness, Tatty.
Oh boy, who's in our chat?
The
Oh, Robert.
one and only man from Australia. What's up, buddy? Robbie Racing. We can't wait to see you out here next race.
Speaking of which, I'm a little upset with him because if you remember, he was linked into that message that I sent you and he never replied.
Oh,
Very upset with him.
What message?
That's
What?
alright, everybody's always
On
nice.
PSN.
Oh, see, I didn't see a PSN. I have all my
Yeah.
stuff. Did I reply? Because all my
No.
PSN messages and stuff are blocked. It's hard for me to see, so I don't get notifications for broadcasting purposes. So I don't black box. I just go off with the Facebook Messenger, and then when I do
Well, no,
realize
you-
something,
You read it because you replied to me on Facebook. He just never replied.
well, that's all Robbie then. All
Fake
Robbie.
people can't read.
Yeah, I can't read.
See, told you.
It happens.
I
It
can't
happens.
tell if the 32 is saving or not. Jake's not really gaining all that much on him. But the 21's got a lap car in front of him. And I
That's
don't know
yeah. He's
who-
got Pro 75 right in front of him right now. I'm on board with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
we're
he's
at, 23 laps remaining. Leader will be coming to 22 this time by.
so in theory the 21 really shouldn't catch Pro 75 because Pro 75 has way fresher tires than him. But
Correct.
you never know.
Yeah, but you never know exactly, depending upon how they drive the track.
Robbie, it's called MOM here in America. M-O-M.
Yeah, he said something to me a while back on Mother's Day. He's like, you know, look what the kids got. And he said mummy, M-U-M-M-Y. And I'm like, what did they do? Get him an Egyptian? I mean, it's mommy. I did, too. And I love Robbie. Everybody knows Robbie's one of my good buddies. But I was like, it's mommy, not mummy.
Can I tell you, this has been the best broadcast night of my life.
Oh, it's not over yet, too. I mean, that things could change to the next 20-some-odd laps, buddy.
Oh, I know.
Justin Sackett says, I am never doing this on a Wednesday night again, especially during what I heard in pre-race.
Oh, my God. What did I sign up for?
It's always a fun time. That's why when I put in the broadcast chat, who wants to come party with Puddin'?
NRG, remember this in the future, okay?
Uh-oh.
I came to your beck and call for the broadcast.
No.
Slightly concerned that you asked NRG to remember something.
His name is... Robbie says, who messaged me? What's your BSN name? It's just
Excuse me?
It's just a second.
That's it. I'm done. I'm quitting Giggity. Goodbye. I'm done.
21 to go. Thank you, Cola, for that. But
you were tagged in a message with pudding.
But they're coming to 18 to go.
oh well, I just saw 21 to go. Pull and put him. Hey, by the way,
That's
Justin, it's not pudding. I'm not English. It's not like crossing your hands and be like pudding. It's just pudding. Say it like a redneck. Say just pudding.
I'm retiring.
No, thank you again for all your help, and I've told you before, your commentary is very appreciated in what you bring to the booth and the aspects and thoughts and pulling all these details out, man. You do such a great job, especially on Friday nights. Just because I'm not always racing and all these doesn't mean I'm not always watching, especially as a captain. And apparently a new role here in Giggity, thanks to our one and only Tatty over there. I've always been one to watch. Even when I was traveling, I keep an eye out there on my phone just to watch how the drivers are going. Development races, you never know who you're going to see out there. But you do such a great job, so thank you, Justin. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I have a question for you guys. We've got, I think it's like 15 laps to go now or something like that.
17.
Who do you think's going to win?
Private first. Yeah, Private Pat looks like he is checking out, so even if he needs to, save a little bit, he's got at least 2 seconds right now, 2.5 seconds of time to, take a break and save the equipment.
I don't see him backing off right now.
I don't see him doing it, but I'm saying he has it if he needs it.
What I'm getting at that is, if it's going to be a fuel strategy, then the 21 has decided that one of two things: either he can make it or he can't make it, but he's not going to attempt to save the fuel. They're now at 15 laps to go, and I don't see him slowing down at all. If you needed to save 1 or 2 laps, by now you would have already backed it off to try to save it and get to the end. So either he's good to go, or he 100% knows there's no way of him saving it, so he's going to try to stretch this gap as big as he can. So when he does top it off, he's not going to lose as much time.
And one thing too with Private Patton, since we still are coming to 14 to go, it appears down at the line right here, if he does win, still long race, he could get loose or something. Let's see if he makes the booth in time this time. Last 2 weeks ago, he missed it by about 30 seconds. Made it last week though, but having a great season 5 playoff run with a couple wins already. It looks like he is putting on his swim trunks to show up to Homestead.
Yeah, and Patton is one of those drivers too. I haven't raced with him very much, only in a couple of, races here and there, like combined stuff. But even when you think he needs to save because everybody else can't make it, he doesn't save and still somehow makes it. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
The leader is going to be coming at 12 to go this time by.
12 to go for the leader. Jake back here in 3rd, UK in 4th. No battles.
Yeah, and Big Jim is getting really, really, really loose off the corners right now.
You think he took 2?
Is he getting? I don't think so. I don't think
No.
anybody could take 2 here at Darlington. No way.
But the one thing I'm looking out for too is Jake is slowly falling into the grips of his teammate.
Yeah, get back here real quick. Yeah,
Who
UK.
is in the goal?
Yeah.
He was catching the 32, which slowly he still is because the 32 is getting really loose off, but the 88 is slowly catching up to the 3rd place car. So if he gets there, do you go by him?
Mm-hmm. That's the name of the game. I like I said, we all saw what happened with Eric Jones. I don't disagree with that, you know, don't pass him move. I mean, I know it's playoffs, but you're also racing. You didn't just spend 180 some odd laps out on the track to fall back 1 position. That's just my opinion, though, Justin.
Yeah,
Right.
another big deal. The 88 right now, right? So the 19's a lap down. We know that he had his incident. He's a lap down. So behind the 88, you have the 18, then you have the 11, then you have the 4. As it sits right now, he's only made up 2 points on the 11 and 3 points on the 4. If he can pass the 24, he's made up 3 on the 11 and 4 on the 4. Mind you, he's only 5 points behind the 2 of them at this point in time in the race. So if he can make up 4 on the 4 car, that makes him only trailing 1 point as they enter Indianapolis next week.
Right.
And
The one thing
AJ
that
said
sucks-
thank you out there again, guys. He said thank you so much for all the support from the community. He wants to, you know, not his favorite track, you said, but they're hoping to put on a good show for the custom race too. AJ, we're thinking about you. Next race is for you. Please, again, everybody, go check out on Facebook, in the messengers, all the chats. There is a GoFundMe out there to help with AJ and his mom, and I'm so glad she'll be tuning in for a little bit and everything was successful today.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Country Caliber too because he lost the car, got into the wall, fell back, and he just wasn't able to really dig himself out of that deficit.
WRX Mike out there, he says he's supporting too, so thanks for tuning in tonight. And again, guys, we do have a charity race next Saturday evening at Michigan, 6 to go as we just heard. We'll get into more details on that too, but hey, we were thinking about you, buddy.
Next Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah, so I won't be able to make the race. I wish I could, but I am going to put a donation into the GoFundMe page.
Yeah, anytime I can. I obviously I help out with the broadcast with those stuff, but anytime you can donate to help your fellow family member and your friend out there. Just because you can't race doesn't mean you can't donate.
Right. So
Back up, yeah.
how many laps to go?
5 to go. I believe the battle's going to be between the 24 and the 88 for 3rd. I believe every car on the track is going to have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah,
I'm watching these two right now.
Yeah, I just was clicking through the field. Everybody has gone single file now, but the 88 up go to bed. Mr. UK Wildbats himself right there is reeling in on that 24 quickly.
But with 4 now coming to 3, is he gonna have enough time? I mean, he may get to the bumper.
But we saw Jake get loose earlier, Justin, too. So don't
Right.
forget it's that. If he makes a mistake right now, that he is his own worst enemy for that 3rd spot. If he makes a mistake like that, though, so can he hold on to it? But on board with UK, he is reeling him in very quickly.
But the other thing too is he's probably a half a second behind Jake, so Jake's not really feeling the pressure. He's got to get to the bumper of Jake to get the pressure on him to have Jake make a mistake. Because a half a second is Jake's not really driving that hard right now.
On board with Jake right now too. We'll keep an eye on that situation just for a second. But Private Patton, Big Jim, and Jake, that is your top 3. UK Wildcats reeling him in that for that 4th position. Again, Jake, man, I just want to apologize. Up to 20 viewers right now coming to the end of this race. Thanks to so much. I know a lot of these guys are the custom drivers paying attention to this race too, but don't forget, guys, we'd love to see just as many, if not more, for that next race as we see UK bump that wall. For the custom race, though, guys, we want to see a lot of people out there. Show your love and your support.
So that right there with the 88 bumping the wall, that completely took him out of the contention of taking third away from Jake.
Yeah, that might have just did it for him because that couple tens, but Jake's getting way high right there, doesn't scrape the wall, does a great job not to bring it below that yellow line, upset that chassis and gets loose. Good little run. Private Patton out there still leading Big Jim in second. Great battle brewing here in the closing laps. We see Duck Humor now coming down the pit lane. He's not going to make it.
Fuel.
Yep, he won't make it.
This is going to hurt him in the points.
Yeah, AJ said too, he just said something too, he'll be up in the booth on Saturday too, so not being on the racetrack, we'll be able to speak with the man himself. It'll be great to have you up there for that race. Michigan's going to be fun, right?
Probably.
The 88 caught the 24, but
I don't think he ran it.
Not going to be able to get around him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough time. Oh, Jake scrapes the wall just a little bit, but UK goes to the inside.
Yep. That was close.
That was it. That was the race.
A lap sooner. If Jake would have done that a lap sooner, the 88 would have been there.
Yep.
And with that move for the 4 running out, that put him a lap down, probably finishing tail end of the line.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. The 8 and the 19 were both a lap down. So the question realistically, because Duck was the last car on the lead lap when he ran out of fuel, did either one of those cars pass him? If either one of them passed him, then the 88 is sitting really, really good entering next week. If one car passed him, then that's going to make it a tie ball game. If both cars pass the 4, then the 88 will be ahead of the 4 entering next week and making the opportunity to make the playoffs.
So there is your winner tonight here at Darlington for the preset race. Stay tuned again for the custom race. We will see AJ in a custom car. Stay tuned. Come back with us. Give Private Patton just a couple minutes to get up here so we can get ready for the next race. But yeah, big points implications tonight for Big Name not being able to make an appearance.
Yep. Let's be honest, that Big Day not being able to make it just straight up took him out of the playoffs. There's no way he's going to make up 20-something points next week because finishing 10th, which the worst driver that just finished, that's where they finished was 10th. Fast lap went to Country Caliber, actually.
Yep.
But 10th place here gets 21 points, 11th gets 20. There was only 11 cars. So Big Dane was already chasing entering tonight, even though it was only just a couple points. He was chasing in points and just lost another 20. So realistically, there's no way to make up that many points next week.
No.
Yep. So I'm going to switch over to
31 cars show up.
There's the Private Pat Mobile, the 21 car. So I don't have to blue screen. Can one of you guys give him just a invite, give him a couple minutes to get up here? Big Jim in the team chat said, man, I gave her all she had. Private Patton was dialed in, and he definitely was.
I didn't see any proof of that.
But again, Justin, thank you for your help tonight. Good luck a little bit later here. Trying to get Paul Bear up here in the booth. Anybody else who wants to join us also. It's going to be a big deal. We're going to quite literally rack them and stack them here at Darlington Custom Cup Style, presented by JCR again. Thank you to all of our sponsors out there, JCR. And don't forget, they have put up money, man. It's sitting over here. I'm fanning it myself. The winner of the championships this year getting monetary amount, dude. So that's a lot of pressure, too.
He is doing that because, quite frankly, that is the only way Puddin will see championship money.
Pretty much, yeah. That's facts, too. So at least I said I could hold on to it. Got to say that I held on to championship money one time. Hey, don't rule me out yet. I had a good Watkins Glen run. I like Kansas. Richmond's not a bad track for me either, too. So my goal for Custom Xfinity, I don't know if I can obviously go out and give it to old McLovin, but man, just to be able to make it there, that would say something too. So don't rule me out yet. Don't rule me out yet. Things could happen. I might have to put some nails on the track for McLovin's tires, but we'll figure it out. But all right, guys, we give Private Patton again a couple minutes to get up here. Congratulations to him. We really do appreciate your help. Just check it. Taddy said he'll be up here for the IRR. We just got Paul Bear up there. Oh, see, look, you made it just in time, Patton. You made it just in time again. You almost missed it, man. Congratulations tonight on another W here at Darlington.
Oh, thank you. Actually, the track too tough to tame. I mean, definitely caught me out a couple times. I don't know if you guys saw me get loose off two like every other lap because that car was a handful.
Justin?
Yeah, this is my first time meeting you. Nice to meet you.
Nice
but
to
I
meet
was
you.
definitely keeping an eye on with you guys. Were you nervous at all with Big Jim, knowing that he's not racing for anything other than the race win?
100%. I mean, like, I wish that you guys could, like, if I had like a face cam, like whenever I like stream or anything like that, I was sweating bullets. I was I was getting tunnel vision going down the front stretch. I mean, that just honestly just goes to show that like no matter how many races that you will race or how many times that you can get a W or finish well, I mean, that thrill of like always being nervous, you know, never goes away. You know, at least with me, I don't know how it is for some people, but like for me, it's like always it's always there.
Now, what does this do to your confidence for next race? Do you
Absolutely
go in there?
nothing.
Do you go in there kind of backing off, knowing that you're essentially going to make the top four, or are you going to go in there and try to win it again?
Nah, because if I lag out stage one, there's a chance for me to not make it. So
Right.
I mean, you always gotta like think of, and this may not be the right mentality. You always gotta think of like worst case scenario. It's like, okay, like, you know, there are some people that are just like, well, how do I win this race? Okay, you know, I gotta do this. I gotta do X, Y, and then Z. But also in the same token, you'd be like, okay, how do I lose this race? Or how do I, in this case, how do I lose my playoff spot for the fight for a championship? It's like, okay, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, and I can't do that. And for me, right now, I think it's me lagging out stage one, and I think I don't know who's fifth in points now because I know Big Dane unfortunately was not able to make it. But it's like fifth sweeping
UK
the
Wildcats
stages.
took that spot over, FYI.
Oh, okay, so UK's on the outside looking in?
Yeah, but after tonight, he's only 1 point on the outside looking in.
Exactly, so it's him sweeping the stages and then the race, and then all of a sudden I may be out of a spot, and if I lag out, so it's like
Right.
stuff like that.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you.
Patty.
And yeah, we're going to get this wrapped up. Get ready for the custom race, guys. Please stay tuned. Again, then thoughts and prayers out to A.B. Jarrett and his family. You know him as AJ Storm. We'll get again. We talked about it. He's running a custom paint scheme for the next race. For Justin Shacken making his debut on a Wednesday night, KTatty, myself, congratulations to Private Patton. Thank you to our sponsor JCR for making everything possible this year. We will talk to you guys here in about 10.